Welcome to another installment of your sports business show, Sports Exchange. My name is Judy Olanero. On today's show, it's a breaking news. Anyway, it might not be new again, but we expected it at some point. The Vandresa Football Club of Lagos has pulled out from the National League. The Nigerian National League. This is one story that we'll be touching on the show today. We've got some other news lined up for you. And on our segment today, we'll be looking at technology and scouting. Our guest will be joining us all the way from Slovenia. And on our offside, it's something that motivational, inspiring, that can take you into a new week. These are some of the things you will be enjoying on today's show. Thanks for joining us as always. And don't forget, our social media handles or platforms are there. They are interactive and live. Sport Exchange 24 on Twitter, at Sport Exchange 24 on Twitter, Sport Exchange 24 on Facebook. And for those who will want to watch again and again this program, our channel is TV360 Nigeria on YouTube. Okay, let's go on a short break, and when we come back, it will be time for the news.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back. Straight to the news. Kenya's Emmanuel Nebe and Mazeret Dike are the winners of the 2021 edition of the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon. Nebe returned in a time of 2 hours 15 minutes 01 seconds to claim the top prize of $30,000 in the men's category, while Dinke, who won the 2019 edition of the race, returned in 2 hours 30 minutes and 40 seconds. She also takes home $30,000 for her efforts. Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa has joined Nigerian Premier League side Kano Pillars for the remainder of the season after leaving the Saudi Arabia Pro League side Al Nassr last October. At 28, the former Leicester City and CSK Moscow player is expected to light up the league with his talent. Musa actually left for the Golden Fleece from Kano Pillars, a sort of homecoming for him. Kevin De Bruyne signed a new £83.2 million contract with Manchester City until 2025, after underlining his importance to Pep Guardiola's side. De Bruyne had 2 years left of his existing deal, but has committed to a 2-year extension which will take in the rest of his top-level career. Unusually, De Bruyne did not use an agent to broker the new deal, conducting negotiations with City himself, his father and lawyer, both in Belgium, assisting remotely. Even more remarkably, De Bruyne commissioned data analysts to assess his influence at City and how well they are set up for success in the coming years based on the age and qualities of the current squad. And now to Olympics. Despite the 2020 Tokyo Olympics not open to foreign spectators, Japanese appear not to be favorably disposed to the city of Tokyo hosting the Games after last year's postponement as a result of coronavirus pandemic. A new survey has suggested Tokyo 2020 organizers are still struggling to win public support, with more than 70% of Japanese citizens wanting the Games to be cancelled or delayed due to COVID-19. A poll conducted by Japanese news agency Kyodo News revealed that 39.2% of respondents want Games cancelled, while 38.8% of another want it delayed. Just like I told you at the beginning of the show, the management of Vandresa Football Club of Lagos has decided to withdraw from further participation from all activities of the Nigerian National League with immediate effect. The decision becomes imperative in the view of the fact that the management and the board of the Nigerian National League, as presently constituted, has shown enough resolve and communicated the same in clear terms to the club. With its transformation agenda, it is no way needed in the NNL League. That's it. Okay, that's the news that we have for you. Okay, for those who missed out on the Lagos City Marathon, we had a collage of put together a collage of pictures for you, how Lagosians and the athletes enjoyed every bit of the events. We go on a short break with that, and when we come back, it will be time for the offside. Rather, it will be time for the dugout segment. Stick around, don't go away.
Fantastically finished.
All right, welcome back. It's still Sport Exchange, and this is the segment where we talk to an expert on some issues that are germane when you talk about sport business. Today we're traveling to Slovenia, where our guest is standing by. Our guest is the Chief Executive Officer of Sky Scout Group in Slovenia. Dennis Halek joins me all the way from Slovenia. Dennis, how are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much, really. And Dennis, I know it's common about as long as you are a sports personality, maybe it does not really matter the kind of sports you've done. I know you are a former basketball professional, and right now you are now you're working, you are innovating a tech startup that is for entertainment and sports. According to your profile, you want to revolutionize the industry, talking about the sports and entertainment industry by developing fully automated, artificial intelligence driven and software that can capture every game at the moment. Now, as a former basketball player, and right now I know you are doing something in football. Why football? And are you also doing something for basketball that gave you the fame?
Of course, you know, as you mentioned, like I'm coming from a different background, but when you're entering, obviously, the business, you know, you go where the biggest market is, right? So currently, the biggest market and to grow better is obviously to go into the football where, you know, obviously the lack of technology, the lack of innovation is present. And this is where, you know, our technology comes handy to help the federations and the leagues, you know, to cover more matches with no staff, basically, right? So we have a software in place where, we place it one time only and it runs for life. And then that gives a lot of value to a lot of clubs and the leagues across the nation. And we're trying to, change the industry, how they think about the technology and the metrics that goes with that.
All right, you say something about you profess solution. You invent solution that can help clubs and leagues to generate different sources of revenue. This quite interests me because when you talk about money, this program is about money. Teach me how to make money from some of those innovations of yours.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I lost you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the fact that your company also creates solution that can help leagues and clubs to generate different sources of revenue. And when you talk about revenue, I'm all ears. I want to hear that. So how can I get it done?
I wish everybody would be all ears, Usually nowadays you have a hard time to convince people or explain to them, that the subscriptions or the contract they sign, is an investment. It's not expense, right? Which means that essentially, yes, they can market and do their own revenue streams if, they wish to. So obviously, they capture a lot more content and the fans, they love it. So they can run the subscriptions, they can run pay-per-view, they can run marketing, they can run sponsorships, so there's about 6 different revenue streams that they can tap into. So this is what we're trying to, explain to the leagues and the clubs that, it's an investment, it's not an expense. But it's, it's been challenging so far, but we're getting there closely and surely.
All right. Okay, let me ask you this. What are the key performance indicators that scouts look out for? Because we're looking at technology and scouting now, and I know that your company also operates in that sphere.
Yeah, the key metrics are obviously the created opportunities, around which player and what those indications are, right? So if we take this a few years back where everybody was like, if you're the top scorer, you're the best player. Nowadays, that's not the case anymore because obviously the most valuable players are the ones who create the most opportunities for others, which leads to, the index factor and everything that comes with that. So the technology and all the scouting has changed a whole lot. The industry has really embraced, what the new era of technology is bringing along. But essentially, yeah, this is basically the biggest change that nowadays you don't go by the, who's the best scorer, best passer, but there's a combination of roughly about 20 to 30 metrics that they combine, and then you get the lifetime factor of the player, which will give you a pretty good idea how valuable he is.
And as a former player too, I know what it means for a player. What do you think is the future now? Because it appears that technology is driving this game, is driving this particular industry.
Yeah, definitely. I'm involved in so many projects at the moment with many startups. I'm advising them, I'm investing in them. So I have a quite good picture of what is coming, right? So considering that, nowadays, everything will be through the OTT, it's going to come from video. And basically this is what is going to be driving the next couple decades. And fans will love it basically because what is coming right now is based on fan experience, meaning that, all the designs and all the presentations that's going to be on the screen for them, will be designed and developed for them. So there's a lot of companies now coming out with very, very unique technologies, and I'm very excited for the future.
So do you see a situation whereby somebody can stay back in Of course, Eastern Europe, like Slovenia, and you're monitoring the performance of a player down here in Nigeria. Are you looking at that future yet? Are you seeing it rather?
We are pretty close. I can tell you that much. We're pretty close with the virtual reality technology that is being developed with one of the startups in Qatar and one of the startups in India. So they basically give you the virtual experience of the match, which means you can be anywhere in the world and you can feel like you're there. So you can buy a VIP seat or a normal seat, and you watch the game just as you be there, and you can experience everything. So it's amazing what the technology was able to bring to life.
Thank you very much. Okay, what are the products Sky Scouts provides now for the specifics? What are the kind of products we should be looking out for from your end?
Well, basically, we're now focusing on the TV production, right? So TV production for us means that you still get a TV-like footage, but there is no human interaction behind it. So you get normal, broadcasting and recording of the matches with the score and time and the sponsorships, the layover and everything. For the fraction of the price, which will give you the TV media company, right? So we're trying to really decrease the expenses while we increase the value, if that makes sense.
Wow. So gradually, especially, that means that affects me because there's in that area. So you also, I can begin to look forward to having my kind of, maybe just little channel courtesy of that product or that invention of yours that can just go broadcast most of the games that I have, maybe in my locality or maybe in Nigeria, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're already in discussions with various entities, and it's coming soon. It's coming soon. It's been a hell of a ride, and it's gonna come soon, very soon. Also to Nigeria, we're actually very closely working with the Nigerian Federation, with our partners, and I think we're gonna be there pretty soon.
Pretty soon. I'm looking for that because I want to have a share of the pie. Just please put my name down and always remember me. Okay, let's talk about this.
I will always do that.
All right. Okay. Automating sports football, like automating sports, just like football. Will it improve or take away the fun? Because you can hear some conversation about the future of the game. Someone wants to automate the offside rule. Someone wants to, all those things. What do you think about that?
Well, I think there's regulators that do that, right? So we personally work closely with FIFA and FIBA, and they have a certifications and programs in place which will, guide you through certain rules, obviously. So, there's not much room of just mingle it. You have to follow the process. But definitely, any automation is very welcome. I think the future is there, and I think the future is definitely through the cameras. So there's, and through this pandemic, period, there's been several startups coming up, developing such features and such solutions. So I think, there's a good timings ahead, which will help the leagues and clubs to, let's say, generate revenue and bounce back, because now this is the most important thing now after such a long period of COVID, now they lose money, they lose sponsorship, they lost basically a lot of players, staff and stuff like that. And the only way they can recover now is, to look into the future and the solutions and innovative side of that, which can provide much more for much less expenses down the road. As I said before, they need to start looking as an investment, not as an expenses, right? So that's the key here.
All right. Finally, before I let you go, Dennis, I'm also thinking about my job. Exactly, especially for those who work in this ecosystem. I'm looking at my job. I'm looking at those who are into scouting. I'm also looking at agents, football agents. The way it is going on, it appears that we might be out of job. Don't you think so?
No, 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 not by all means. The thing is not that we don't try to cut any jobs, right? So maybe the jobs and description of the jobs will be, reshaped and reformed in a different position, but, there will always be a place where the technology will need a human interaction or an add-on, right? So for example, one of our solutions also provides the commentators, right? This is where, for example, you come handy, right? So that will allow you to, be a commentator, be part of the game, be part of the ecosystem, So the last thing that we want to do, obviously, is, cutting jobs because we want to create opportunities, So I think it's possible with the technology. And maybe some people also think in the same way, but that's not the case, right? It's in the sport industry, the person will still matter always.
Well, Dennis, thank you very much for allaying the fears of so many people, because I can imagine what's going on in their minds right now, especially with the innovation and the creation of so many of this artificial intelligence and some of this technology-driven tools that is coming into sports these days. Thank you very much, Dennis, once again. I really appreciate this interaction. I hope when next I call on you, you will be standing by to be part of the show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for having me.
Oh, all the best and stay safe. We love you from Nigeria.
Yeah, you too. That's most important right now.
All the best. That was the Chief Executive Officer of Sky Scouts Group based in Slovenia, a former basketball professional, and right now developing the technology tools for the game, especially football. Okay, we're going to a short break, and when we come back, it will be time for the offside segment.
Fantastically finished.
All right, that was the dugout segment. Okay, now it's time for me to say my bye-bye. Before I say my bye-bye, once again, don't forget that our social media platforms are up and running. They are there for you. On Twitter, it's Sport Exchange 24 at Sport Exchange 24 on Twitter. On Facebook, Sport Exchange also 24 on Facebook, Sport Exchange 24. And for those who want to watch this program over and over again, you can go to our YouTube channel, TV360 Nigeria. Okay, keep enjoying it. Yes, I'm leaving you with this inspired words from one of the best basketballer in the world. Okay, the best talents that we've seen, the world has seen. Michael Jordan. That is my offside today. It says, and I quote, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. 26 times I have been trusted to take the game's winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." That is Michael Jordan for you. American businessman and former professional basketball player. He won 6 NBA championships and 6 finals MVP as a player. It takes that courage to be the most valuable player, Yes, that's it. This is where the cookie crumble. I'm yours truly, your most valuable player on this show. When you talk about sport business, Gidi Olano is my name. Special thanks to the crew too for making this happen. See you some other time.